The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G is here, and could very well be the pinnacle of all smartphones. Yeah, it's priced to compete with a used Honda Civic, or a round-trip flight to Hawaii, but I mean, look at all these colors. Like I always say, groceries are overrated. Today we're going to see how durable Samsung's latest flagship really is. Let's get started. So Samsung got a little crazy and dropped 3 versions of the same phone this time: the Note 10, the Note 10 Plus, and the Note 10 Plus 5G. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to buy the 5G version, which costs an extra $350, unless of course you already live in one of the very few 5G cities and have a 5G node right outside your window. This phone will definitely live its very full and complete lifespan before 5G networks become a thing. One thing that differentiates this Powerpuff-looking contraption from other phones is the internal built-in stylus, and it's actually one of the coolest parts of the phone. I've been tempting myself into upgrading from my 2.5-year-old Galaxy S8 Plus just for this feature. From a business aspect, sometimes it's way easier to communicate with a drawing rather than just plain text, which makes this built-in stylus very appealing. The soft tips are interchangeable, so if one breaks or gets bent or worn down, it's very easy to swap them out. The unibody S Pen is made from blue painted plastic, but the most interesting parts are inside. The S Pen has internal accelerometers and a gyro, also Bluetooth. All these let you control the phone from a distance with gestures and clicking the one little side button. The coils of wire down here near the pressure sensitive tip doubles as a way to charge the S Pen and also generates an electromagnetic field of its own, so that the phone, which also has an electromagnetic field under the screen, can sense where the pen is located and exactly what it's drawing. It's a legit distinguishing feature in a sea of phones that kind of all do the same thing. At the opposite end of the S Pen near the clicker is a capacitor. It stores about 10 hours worth of energy with a 6-minute charge up while it's inside the phone. It's a very impressive system. I think it's time we take a look at the other side of Rainbow Road here, the screen. Gotta love it when companies give you free screen protectors. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G is using Gorilla Glass 6 on both the front and back of the phone. Have you ever noticed that it's really only the cell phone industry that keeps on plopping a new number on basically the same phone year after year and then calls it revolutionary? Thumbs up to Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo for being real and only releasing new products when it's actually warranted every couple years. The Gorilla Glass 6 on this Note 10 5G scratches at level 6, with deeper grooves at level 7, just like last year and the year before. I got a cool Sapphire video coming up soon though, don't you worry. The front-facing Cheerio camera is a 10 megapixel little guy and sits under the same pane of glass as the screen. Interestingly enough though, there doesn't seem to be an earpiece gap up at the top. There might be a tiny little gap between the glass and the edge of the phone, but Samsung could also be using the under-display speaker tech that we saw inside of the LG G8. We'll have to take a look at that from the inside to be sure though. Make sure you're subscribed for the upcoming teardown video. This no speaker grill aesthetic is pretty sleek looking. The sides of this phone are made from aluminum. Samsung slipped up and said stainless steel in one of their own promotional videos, but it's since been corrected to aluminum, like the rest of their flagships. Up here at the top of the phone we have a lot going on. There is a layer of clear protective plastic, along with the SIM card tray. The little hole next to the SIM card tray is for the top stereo speaker. With an expandable memory SD card slot, you can add up to 1 terabyte of storage, which you might not need while the phone is brand new of course, but it's always nice to add more storage as your phone gets older and fills up, instead of having to go delete things. It also has a rubber liner around the base to satisfy the IP68 water resistance rating. The left side of the phone has a metal volume rocker, along with a single power button. Finally, Bixby has left the building. Except for if you hold the power button down for a fraction of a second too long, he comes right back. The coloring of this phone is seriously crazy. I feel like it belongs in Wreck-It Ralph with the Sugar Rush Racers instead of a businessman's pocket. I'm still totally down though. The bottom of the phone is also made from metal. No headphone jack anywhere to be found. Personally, I think it's a bad move. I did a poll on Twitter last month where 60% of you said you've used a headphone jack in the past week, and 60% of people on MKBHD's similar Twitter poll said a headphone jack would be a nice bonus, or even a need. Personally, I'm all wireless at this point because exercising with corded headphones is super annoying, but watching YouTube or Netflix with a tiny Bluetooth lag is also slightly annoying. So I am sad the jack is gone on the Note 10. At least the S Pen won't get permanently stuck though, in the hole if you put it in backwards. That was an actual problem with the old Note 5. The USB-C port on the Note 10 is rather awesome. It is fully capable of super fast charging the phone with 45 watts of power. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense with just the number, so let me draw out a comparison. The Note 10 can take in a full 45 watts of power to super fast charge the battery. You do gotta pay a little extra for that 45 watt charger though, as Samsung only includes a 25 watt charger in the box. 25 watts is still amazing though when you compare it to the competition. For example, Apple's newest phone, the iPhone XS, can only fast charge with 15 watts of power. Yet Apple only includes a 5 watt charger in the box. That's right, the 9 watt reverse wireless charging capability on the Galaxy Note 10 is a faster charger than the wall plug Apple includes in the box with their new iPhones. Ouch. Remember, Apple makes the jokes, I just read the spec sheet. Taking a quick look at the rear cameras, the Note 10 has the absolute optimal setup on the back with the 16 megapixel ultra-wide lens up top, and a normal 12 megapixel lens in the center, and a 12 megapixel telephoto zoom lens on the bottom. The perfect perspective trifecta. The Note 10 Plus also has an additional depth sensor off to the side, which combined with the bigger screen and bigger battery makes the 10 Plus a better purchase than the smaller Note 10. Still stay away from the 5G version though. There is an underscreen ultrasonic fingerprint scanner on the Note 10. It's the same cool tech we saw inside of the Galaxy S10. Super quick and doesn't take up much room inside the phone. But more importantly, the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner still functions even after the screen suffers heavy damage with level 7 deeper grooves. Very impressive. Speaking of scratches, do you want to see an experiment I started 2.5 years ago? Both sides of the Note 10 are made from glass, and as we know, glass can scratch. Here are some level 7 deeper grooves on the back next to the Samsung logo, and here are even some level 6 scratches, both of which show up extremely well on this child's kaleidoscope of a phone. There are plenty of things in everyday life that can scratch glass. For example, this is my 2.5-year-old daily driver that I purposefully never put a screen protector on, just to see how it would react and turn out with normal everyday use. Sliding in and out of my pocket, glass might be scratch resistant, but it's still no match for anything above a level 6 on most scale of hardness. You really only have two options. You can either cover up scratches that are already made or prevent scratches with some kind of protection. Thanks to dbrand for sponsoring this video. dbrand has protective skins that you can combine together however you want. It changes how your phone looks, along with adding aesthetic protection. You can see what your phone would look like with the link in the description. A new skin for your phone is way cheaper than buying a new phone. Just saying. I'm digging this copper metal skin. I'll peel it off though, so we can taste the rainbow and finish off the durability test. Have you ever roasted Skittles over a campfire? Neither have I, but I couldn't figure out any other way to segue into the burn test. The Note 10 Plus has a large 6.8-inch 1440p display and lasted about 20 seconds before I thought it was permanently damaged. But after removing the heat from the dynamic AMOLED screen, the white marks quickly faded, leaving a pristine screen behind. Minus the evaporated oleophobic coating, of course. There is no other damage. No durability test is complete without a bin test. The physical structural integrity of a phone is just as important as the power inside. It's time to see if the Note 10 is as durable as it is cute. Bending from the back, we get basically no flex, which is rather shocking considering how large the phone is. I'll flip it around to the front, and we get basically the same result. No damage, no cracks, and no kinks in the frame. Just a super solid, colorful flagship phone from Samsung that survives my durability test. I think it's a winner. Expensive, yes, but still a good phone. If it had a headphone jack, I'd probably end up switching right away. But as of right now, my Galaxy S8 is still working good enough, so I don't know. Maybe I'll upgrade, maybe I'll wait, and maybe I'll let you guys decide for me over on Twitter. I'm not quite sure yet. We should definitely take it apart first, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Come hang out with me on Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to see what your phone looks like skinned with the dbrand link in the description. Thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.